Guys, this is what's called rearrangement of formula. Rearrangement of formula means I need to get one letter on its own. All other numbers and letters have to be over the other side of the equal sign. Now for example, it says make x the subject of this formula. This means at the very end I need to have x on its own. Okay? Now, well, the way I do this, did you learn BOMDAS or BEMDAS in... Sorry? You learned BOMDAS, okay? Now, the way I do it is like this, okay? More or less.
What's that?
I'll explain now, okay? Brackets means your stuff is inside the bracket. Remember if I got you to do this. If I wanted you to do this out in a test, you'd have to do the brackets first. The brackets is 2 plus 3 is 5. What you'd have to do second is operations. Operations is squares, cubes, and square root signs. You'd have to square it out second, which means you get 25 plus 5, and the answer would be 30. You got that? That's what BOMDAS is. I'll give you one more example of BOMDAS, okay? Another example of BOMDAS would be 3 times 7 minus 5 squared plus 8. How'd you do this one? Do what's in the brackets first. Brian Logan. Do what's in the brackets first and you get 2 squared. Do you multiply or square first? Square first. 3 times 4, because operations comes before multiplication. You got it? Now multiplication and division can happen at the same time. So can addition or subtraction, okay? And we get 12 plus 8 is 20. Alright, happy enough with this? Now, in these ones, when we're looking to get the letter on its own, we actually go in reverse. So I'll tell you what we mean now. Once we have a system where everything's on the same line. Now lads, it's only when everything's on the same line. Do you see the way the first 3 are on the same line as each other? Yeah? That means what we can do there is we can obey these rules, okay? So what's happening to the x is, what's the only thing happening to the x? It's x minus y, isn't it? So subtraction is happening, isn't it? Subtraction is the first thing you get rid of when you start from the bottom. So get rid of the subtraction and what happens? X equals 2 z plus y. Is z on its own? Oh sorry, is x on its own?
Yeah.
That's the answer, done. What about the next one? What's happening to x this time? It's been multiplied by 3. So multiplication's happening. And then what happens after it's multiplied? Subtraction. Which one do we get rid of first?
Subtraction.
3x equals 4c. What happens to the b? Now what happens to the 3? If it's multiplied by 3 on the left, it's divided by 3 on the right. There's your second answer. You happy enough with that? Okay, next one. 6y plus, it's the same question, isn't it really? How'd you do this one? This time it's multiplication and addition. Get rid of addition first. 3x equals 7 minus 6y. Get rid of your multiplication. X equals 7 minus 6y all over 3. Alright? Now, there's more than one way of doing the next one. Okay, there's 2 ways of doing the next one. I'm going to show you 2 ways of getting the same answer. Alright? First way is, what's happening to the x? Okay, what goes first?
2y.
2y goes, and then we have x over 3 equals 8 plus 2y. What happens after this? And what happens? Multiply and turns into 24 plus 6y. I actually want to show you the second way of doing that because I think it just makes it overly complicated. We'll use the second way in a further wrong question. Is everybody on board thus far? Okay. Now we're going to step up to number 9. Okay. Make x the subject in the formula each time. Now there's a general rule. The general rule is when you have the letter more than once, what do you need to do? You don't know this yet. What do you say? You can't add ax and bx because you don't know.
When you bring them over, and when you bring the a and b over, you add x.
Okay. Now remember, right? You can't bring over the a and b individually because they're being multiplied by it. An example will be, Farrell, right? Imagine x is the number 2. Yeah? And this number here, a is 3, x is 2, b is 4. I'm just making up random numbers at the moment, okay? What does that equal? 2 multiplied by 3 plus 2 multiplied by 4. What does it equal?
14.
Equals 14, alright? Now imagine this. If you suggest bringing over the a and b on their own, what happens to the full system? What did you do with that a and b?
You brought them over.
And what happens to them? They turn minus, is it? Does this now equal?
No.
So whatever you've done is fundamentally wrong. Okay? So there's another way of doing this, okay? I'm going to show you the way to do this now. What you could do is, you could take when you have more than one letter of the same type, so you have 2 x's, and the x's are attached to other letters or other numbers. What you need to do is you need to have them both over the same side, and once you have them on the same side, you need to factorize. So what happens when you factorize? If you take out x, what's left? A plus b. What does that mean? It means x multiplied by whatever a plus b is. It's multiply. So what does that mean when you bring the a plus b over to the other side? It's divide. And that's the answer to the first one. Okay? Let's go again. Okay. Ax minus 3x equals 5. What do we take out of both of these? And we're left with a minus 3 equals 5. X equals a minus 3. Done. Yes?
We're not trying to do an a plus here.
Not when multiplication turns to division. Or not when division turns to multiplication. Only when addition turns to subtraction. Okay? Now, let's try the next one now. The next one is a bit more difficult looking, isn't it? Why is the next one more difficult looking? Can anybody tell me? Fractions, isn't it? What can we multiply both sides by to get rid of the fraction? Can multiply by 3, couldn't we? Yeah. And what happens when we multiply both sides by 3? It's going to be 3. You have to multiply the top and bottom by 3, don't you? Yeah? Oh, sorry. The way I'm doing it here is I'm just giving them all the same denominator. Do you see that? Now what happens to the 3's on the bottom? And what's left? 3y plus 2 equals x minus 1. Bring the 1 over the other side and what's left? 3y equals x. That's it. Right. One more for the road. This one is one of the more difficult ones in the chapter. Okay? Now to do this one, what you do is, there's 2 letters of the same type, isn't there? The letter we want to get on its own is in there twice, isn't it? That means you're going to have to factorize. If it's in a fraction mode, you're also going to have to do 2 things. You're going to have to factorize, and the second thing you're going to have to do is cross multiply. you're always going to have to do this. So you're going to factorize and you're going to cross multiply. Which one comes first, the factorizing or the cross multiplying? Although I have factorizing now as number 1, you got to cross multiply first. I'll tell you why. You can't factorize them because they aren't on the same level. See the way they're on different levels? You can't factorize them if they're on different levels. Cross multiply. What happens when you cross multiply? What are you going to get? Z multiplied by y minus 1 equals 1 multiplied by 3y plus 2. Now what happens now? We're going to have to multiply out the brackets first, okay? Because we want to free up this y and we want to bring the other y beside it. So we're going to multiply out the brackets and we're going to get yz minus z. We're going to get 3y plus 2. We need the y's over one side and the numbers over the other side. So Alan, what you do next?
You bring the y, that y is 2 or z?
That's a zy or yz.
Do you bring the minus 2?
You could do that, or you could bring the 3y over the other side.
Yeah.
So we're going to get yz minus 3y equals, now where does the z go? That's a z and not a 2. Z goes over the other side.
Yes.
Z plus 2. Okay, so they look completely differently now. What can you do with the y's this time? Factorize them, right? Yeah? Y into, what's left over? Equals z plus 2. Now what happens? Z plus 2 divided by z minus 3. Looks like a 2. Yes, Brian? We're asked to find the value of y when z equals a half. So all you do is anywhere there's a z, you replace it with a half. So it's going to be a half plus 2 divided by a half. And a half plus 2 is 2.5. 2.5 divided by a half is 5. You can use your calculator for that. Now, what we're going to do as practice for this is we're going to try another question of the exact same type. So I'm going to recreate this question. Okay? Now, instead of having z's, I'm going to use x's. Okay? Alright, and I'm going to change this up a little, so I'm going to use it like this. X equals 3y. I'm going to change it, okay guys, I'm changing the question. It's going to be 3y minus 3, and then on the bottom is going to be 2y plus 2. X is going to be equal to 1. What I want you guys to do is, I want you to express y in terms of x, hence find the value of y when x equals 1. Right, step 1, cross multiply. 1 goes up there, 2x plus y, 2y plus 2 goes up there. It's going to be x multiplied by 2y plus 2 equals 3y minus 3. Step 2, multiply them out. 2xy plus 2x equals 3y minus 3. Anything that has a y goes over to the left, anything that doesn't have a y goes to the right. What we're going to be left with is 2xy minus 3y equals minus 2x minus 3. Next step, we're going to factorize out the y. And what happens when we factorize out the y? You're turning 2 y's into 1 y and you get 2x minus 3 equals minus 2x minus 3. Now where does the 2x minus 3 go? So, underneath, and what do you get? Minus 2x minus 3 divided by 2x minus 3. Alright? The whole point of the question then was to find the y value when x equals 1. Replace all x's with 1. It's going to be minus 2 minus 3 over 2 minus 3, which is going to be minus 5 over minus 1, y equals 5.